marathon pace runs are probably too fast, and that single mistake is quietly stealing the race you have trained months for. So here is the question. Do you actually know what a marathon pace run is supposed to teach your body and how it is meant to feel? Because it is not a hard session, and the moment you make it one, you break it. And stay honest with yourself, because I have got a question for you right at the end of this video. Get this right and race day stops being a gamble. You lock onto your goal pace and it feels automatic all the way to the line, while the runners who went out too hard fall apart all around you. That is the payoff most runners never unlock, and it is exactly what is coming. So what is a marathon pace run actually for? When you already run easy runs, tempo runs, and interval runs in a week, and why does running it even slightly too fast quietly wreck the one thing your race is built on, the ability to hold goal race pace when your legs are already tired? Your marathon is not won by how fast you can run. It is won by how efficiently you can hold one pace for 42 kilometers or 26 miles. Get your marathon pace runs wrong and you arrive on race day fit, but completely unrehearsed for the only pace that actually counts on race day. So when you head out for your next marathon pace run, do you actually know the exact pace and how it is meant to actually feel in your legs? Most runners are guessing, and that guess falls apart in the final 10 kilometers or 6 miles of their run. This is something Pete Fitzinger lays out clearly in his book, Advanced Marathoning. A marathon pace run has one job: to teach your body to run efficiently and hold goal pace at race effort. And that only happens when the pace and the fatigue are exactly right. You only ever run goal pace when you're fresh and in short, comfortable blocks. So you're never actually rehearsing holding the marathon race pace when the real fatigue arrives in your legs. That is your first failure point. You stare at your watch the whole way chasing a number, so you never learn what goal race pace actually feels like when you cannot see the screen on your watch. That is your second failure point. And here's the big one. Goal pace feels easy early, so you push it a few seconds per kilometer or 10 seconds per mile faster, and you turn a race effort rehearsal into a threshold session that burns the glycogen and the recovery your race actually needs. That is your third failure point, and here is what it's actually costing you. Every marathon pace run you run too fast is a rehearsal of a race you'll never actually run. Race day does not care how fit you are if you have never practiced the pace. As a running coach, I take runners of all types from zero to hero, hundreds of athletes, goals smashed, running transformed, and right now I'm doing it myself, deep in a sub 3 hour marathon training block, running the exact plan I build for all of my athletes. If you are serious about your marathon and you want goal pace to feel automatic on race day instead of fighting it, you are in the right place. And there is one simple field test that tells you inside a single kilometer or a single mile whether your marathon pace run is actually working, and I'll show you that in just a moment. First, the science that most coaches actually skip. Is there real evidence that practicing race pace changes how efficiently you actually run it? And what happens to your marathon when you train this the right way? Research in exercise physiology keeps pointing to one thing: running economy. How much oxygen you burn to hold a given pace is one of the strongest predictors of your marathon performance. In 2021, a review in the Journal of Applied Physiology confirmed that running economy is a better predictor of marathon performance than your VO2 max number that most runners are obsessing over. Two runners with the same engine will not run the same marathon. The more economical runner will win. And economy is not fixed. It improves with training that is specific to the pace you are trying to run, because the body becomes efficient at the effort it practices the most. That is the entire case for the marathon pace run. It is the one session that trains your body to be economical at the exact effort that your race demands. Skip it or run it at the wrong effort and you build economy at every pace except the one that actually decides your race. Take one of the runners I coach, a weekend warrior in her 50s, chasing her first sub 4-hour marathon. Fit, but fading badly in the final stretch of every race that she runs. She was running every marathon pace run too fast and only ever on fresh legs. So we changed it. We moved her goal pace to the back end of her long runs on tired legs at true race effort. 10 weeks later, the final 10 kilometers or 6 miles of her race held together for the first time. And she ran her sub 4 hour. But she got it. Same runner, same fitness, different rehearsal. That is the shift that this training is built to create in you. So now you know how it goes wrong, but what is the exact pace and what does a marathon pace run feel like when you finally get it right? In advanced marathoning, Pete Fitzinger builds his biggest sessions around long runs with large blocks of marathon pace inside of them, sometimes 16 kilometers or 10 miles of goal pace buried deep in your long run. Not a tempo, not a time trial, goal race pace, run on legs that are already tired. The point is specificity. You are teaching your body to become economical, to burn fuel efficiently, and to hold your form at the exact effort your race will actually demand. But here is the catch. Run that pace even slightly too hard and the whole session flips from race rehearsal into glycogen burning threshold work that steals the recovery your next run depends on. Your marathon does not get faster because you can suffer through a hard session. It gets faster because goal pace starts to cost you less oxygen, less fuel, less effort, so it holds together when you're tired. Here is the fix for failure point number 1. Stop running goal pace only when you're fresh. Put your marathon pace blocks at the end of your long runs on tired legs because that is exactly the fatigue you'll meet on race day. When you can hold goal pace on tired legs late in a long run, that is race readiness. You can actually feel. Here's the fix for failure point number 2. And here is that I feel test I promised. At true marathon pace, you can speak a full sentence, but you would not want to hold a conversation. If you can chat away easily, you're too slow. If you can only grasp a single word, you're running too fast. Learn that feel, then let the watch confirm it, not lead it. Here's the fix for failure point number 3, the one most runners get backwards. Slow down. Goal pace is supposed to feel almost too easy in the first half of the run. If it feels too hard early, you're running it wrong. Controlled and honest beats fast and impressive every single time. This is what separates the runners in my program who hold their pace all the way to the line from the ones who train hard for months and fade in the same place in every race. Run it at the right effort, rehearse the fatigue, the pace holds. And this is the payoff I promised you in the first 30 seconds. Here it is. You lock onto your goal pace and it feels automatic all the way to the line, while the runners who went out too hard fall apart around you. Better running economy, so goal pace costs you less oxygen, less fuel than it ever has. Even pacing that protects your glycogen, so you still have something left when the race turns hard. And the quiet confidence of a rehearsed race because you have already run this exact pace on tired legs dozens of times before you ever reach the start line. That is what a proper marathon pace run buys you. Skip it and you leave that race on the table block after block. Most runners spend money on shoes, watches, and race entries, but never on the thing that actually transforms them. Coaching changes how you train, think, and race. Comment "Coach Me" below and I'll send you the link to get 1 month of full run coaching plus access to our online form and technique course completely free. Remember the 3 mistakes that quietly wreck most runners' race day. Here is the exact session that fixes all 3 at once. Do not skip this part. Your session this week, after a 10 to 15 minute easy warm up, head out for a long run of 26 kilometers or 16 miles, and inside it, run the final 13 kilometers or 8 miles at your goal marathon race pace. That is your marathon pace, the effort you could hold for 42 kilometers or 26 miles and no faster. It should feel almost too easy when you start those goal pace kilometers. That is correct. The difficulty comes from the fatigue, not from the pace. If you're fighting for that pace in the first kilometer or the first mile, you've gone out too fast. Ease back until it feels controlled. Progress it by adding goal pace distance, not by adding speed. Hold the same pace on tired legs for longer. Do not run it faster. Remember, your watch is not in charge of your effort today. Your body leads and your watch, it just confirms. One thing is now clear. Your marathon is not run at tempo pace or interval pace. It is run at marathon pace. And that pace is a skill that you rehearse, not a number that you hope for. Every honest kilometer or mile that you run at true goal effort makes race day feel a little more automatic. So now you know what a marathon pace run is really for and exactly how to run it. But there is still a question your training block has to answer, because all of this quality work that your marathon pace runs, your intervals, your long runs, only turns into fitness if your easy days are actually easy. And most runners run them far too hard. In the next video, I'm going to break down recovery runs, why running them too hard quietly sabotages every hard session you just nailed, and how slow they really need to actually be. Before you go, be honest with me. How many of you have been running your marathon pace runs faster than your actual goal pace, turning rehearsal into a race? Just type guilty below. I promise you, you're not the only one. So if this video helped you, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss a thing. Also, use this QR code or the link in the description to follow me on Strava for daily running tips and inspiration. And I'll see you in the next video.